Hello, my name is Richard Lafredo. I am a Chartered Special Needs Financial Planner.
And I'm Zeke Zimmerman, and we're the co-founders of The Time to Plan Is Now. In our financial practice, Rich and I work with many clients at all stages of life, and we've seen that, regardless of their stage or their need or situation, they all have one key focus in common. They want to know, what does the future look like? And besides being a universal concern for all of us, there are two important things to understand about this question. Number one, that no one can ever know the future with certainty. And number two, that the potential outcomes in the future are always better with proper planning.
One example of this is the Smith family, a married couple with 3 children. The oldest son, John, is autistic, and at age 48, he is living at home while making use of the state and federal support programs, most of which are funded by Medicaid. Their other 2 children are parents themselves, raising their families. One of them about 2 hours away in state, and the other several states away in the Midwest. Recently, Mr. Smith passed away at age 73, and Mrs. Smith herself is in declining health. She is slowly and painfully adjusting to the passing of her husband, and the worries and the concerns that they shared about John's future are now hers alone. Prior to that, they both spoke of the day when they were not here or not well enough to care for John. It was implied that the other children would be there when the Smiths were no longer able to take care of John. But there was no clear transition plan in place, no guidance, and no resources set aside to assist them with this. Throughout the years, the Smiths had many opportunities to plan for the future. They read articles on the internet, they participated in parent support groups, and attended seminars sponsored by John's schools and other organizations. They even met with financial and legal professionals who advised them on certain courses of action, but they never followed up. When Mr. Smith passed away, John's siblings and their spouses were jolted into the reality of caring for a 48-year-old man with a disability. They had made a commitment to their parents, and they were willing, but they were totally unprepared. What did they have to know and have in place to make this work for all of them? Where would John live, and how would the services be provided and accessed? Would anything be needed to ensure that John did not lose his Medicaid eligibility and access all the other services and support that is provided?
On the flip side of the Smiths is the Jones family. Mr. and Mrs. Jones also had 3 children, all adults now, and their middle daughter Sally has Down syndrome. Like John Smith, Sally Jones also benefits from many Medicaid-based services and supports, including the group home she moved into several years ago with the help of her parents and siblings. Mr. and Mrs. Jones both passed away tragically last year, but because of the communication between the family members and their circles of support and the work coordinated with their financial and legal professionals, they all had a plan. A carefully written letter of intent meticulously described Sally's needs and how her caretakers could best maintain her well-being. Properly drafted wills and trusts made sure that the family's assets went where they were supposed to go, with no money being left in Sally's name that could disqualify her from her Medicaid or cause her to lose her residence, her transportation to work, her job coach, or anything else that she relies on. Life insurance funded Sally's trust with care dollars, and also left a legacy for the other Jones children and grandchildren. As sad as it was for the Jones family to lose their parents, the entire family was prepared. Everyone knew what to do and who to talk to. There were very few unanswered questions, and as a result, the family could allow themselves the time to grieve and mourn without having to go into crisis management mode. The difference in outcomes could not be clearer, and it all came down to the planning that was done ahead of time while there was still time to plan.
We know what planning families need to do at each stage of life and for each situation and circumstance. We know what you should have in place to protect your income and assets, to grow your wealth, to live a long and happy retirement, and eventually to provide for your own end-of-life care. We make it simple and easy to take action, and believe us, regardless of how things actually turn out, it is always better to be remembered for having done the right planning than not.
The time to plan is now.